Ben Gurion Airport is the largest international airport of Israel. Named after Israel's first Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion, the airport serves as a hub for El Al, Israel Airlines, ICAO and Sundar. In 2014 it handled approximately 15 million passengers. It is located 19 kilometers to the southeast of Tel Aviv. Ben Gurion Airport is operated by the Israel Airports Authority, a government-owned corporation that manages all public airports and border crossings in Israel. Ben Gurion Airport is considered to be among the 5 best airports in the Middle East due to its passenger experience and its high level of security. Security forces such as Israel police officers, IDF and Israel Border Police soldiers are complemented by airport security guards who operate both in uniform and undercover to maintain a high level of vigilance to detect any possible threats. The airport has been the target of several terrorist attacks, but no attempt to hijack a plane departing from Ben Gurion Airport has succeeded. History. Early history. The airport began as an airstrip of 4 concrete runways on the outskirts of the town of Lydda. It was built in 1936, during the British Mandate for Palestine, chiefly for military purposes. First known as Wilhelma Airport, it was renamed RAF Station Lydda in 1943. During World War II it served as a major airfield for military air transport and aircraft ferry operations between military bases in Europe, Africa, the Middle East and Southeast Asia. The first civilian transatlantic route, New York City to Tel Aviv, was inaugurated by TWA in 1946. The British gave up Lydda Airport at the end of April 1948. Soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces captured the airport on 10 July 1948, in Operation Danny, transferring control to the newly declared State of Israel. In 1948 the Israelis changed the name of the airport from Lydda to Lod. Flights resumed on 24 November 1948. That year, 40,000 passengers passed through the terminal. By 1952, the number had risen to 100,000 a month. Within a decade, air traffic increased to the point where local flights had to be redirected to Tel Aviv's other airport, the SDE Dove Airfield on the city's northern coast. By the mid-1960s, 14 international airlines were landing at the airport. The airport's name was changed from Lod to Ben Gurion International Airport in 1973 to honor Israel's first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion. Although the airport was previously known as Lod Airport, and is sometimes referred to as Tel Aviv Airport, it doesn't actually lie within the boundaries of any particular municipality. Rather, it is located in an unincorporated area within the Central District of Israel. Modern history. More buildings and runways were added over the years. But with the onset of mass immigration from Ethiopia and the former Soviet Union in the 1980s and 90s, as well as the global increase of international business travel, the existing facilities became painfully inadequate, prompting the design of a new state-of-the-art terminal that could also accommodate the expected tourism influx for the 2000 millennium celebrations. The decision to go ahead with the project was reached in January 1994, but Terminal 3 only opened its doors a decade later, on 2 November 2004. During a conflict with Gaza in July 2014, several airlines banned their flights to the airport for a couple of days. Hijack incidents. While Ben Gurion Airport has been a target of Palestinian attacks, the adoption of strict security precautions has ensured that no aircraft departing from Ben Gurion Airport has ever been hijacked. On the other hand, airliners hijacked from other countries have landed at Ben Gurion, contributing to 2 major incidents in the airport's history. In the first, on 8 May 1972, 4 Palestinian Black September terrorists hijacked a Sabena flight en route from Vienna and forced it to land at Ben Gurion Airport. Mathematical commandos led by Ehud Barak stormed the plane, killing 2 of the hijackers and capturing the other 2. One passenger was killed. Later that month, on the 30th of May 1972, in an attack known as the Lod Airport Massacre, 24 people were killed and 80 injured when 3 members of the Japanese Red Army sprayed machine gun fire into the passenger arrival area. The victims included Aharon Katzir, a prominent protein biophysicist and brother of Israel's 4th president. Those injured included Ephraim Katzir and a group of 20 Puerto Rican tourists who had just arrived in Israel. The only terrorist who survived was Kozo Okamoto, who received a life sentence but was set free in a prisoner exchange with the PFLPGC. Passenger terminals. Terminal 1 history. Prior to the opening of Terminal 3, Terminal 1 was the main terminal building at Ben Gurion Airport. At that time, the departures check-in area was located on the ground floor. From there, passengers proceeded upstairs to the main departures hall, which contained passport control, duty-free shops, VIP lounges, one synagogue and boarding gates. At the gates, travelers would be required to descend a flight of stairs to return to the ground floor where waiting shuttle buses transported them to airplanes on the tarmac. The arrivals hall with passport control, luggage carousels, duty-free pickup and customs was located at the south end of the building. The shuttle buses transferred passengers and crews to and from the terminal to airplanes which were parked on the tarmac over 500 meters away. After Terminal 3 opened, Terminal 1 was closed except for domestic flights to the airport in Eilat and government flights such as special immigrant flights from North America and Africa. Chartered flights organized by Nefesh B'Nefesh carrying immigrants from North America and England use this terminal for their landing ceremonies several times a year. Although Terminal 1 was closed between 2003 and 2007, the building served as a venue for various events and large-scale exhibitions including the Bezalel Academy of Arts Centennial Exhibition, which was held there in 2006. There is now talk of keeping Terminal 1 open 24 hours a day in order to handle charter flights from Europe. The renovations for the terminal were designed by Yosef Atta with 3 individual atmospheric themes. Firstly, the public halls have a Land of Israel character with walls painted in the colors of Israel's Judean, Jerusalem and Galilee mountains. The departure hall is given an atmosphere of vacation and leisure, whilst the arrivals hall is given a more urban theme as passengers return to the city. In February 2006, the Israel Airports Authority announced plans to invest 4.3 million NIS in a new VIP wing for private jet passengers and crews, as well as others interested in avoiding the main terminal. VIP ground services already exist, but a substantial increase in users has justified expanding the facilities, which will also boost airport revenues. The IAA released figures showing significant growth in private jet flights, as well as private jet users. The new VIP wing, operated by an outside licensee, will be located in an upgraded and expanded section of Terminal 1. All flight procedures will be handled here. This wing will include a hall equipped for press conferences, a deluxe lounge, special meeting rooms equipped with state-of-the-art business facilities and a designated lounge for flight crews who spend time at the airport between flights. It was announced in January 2008, however, that the IAA planned to construct a new 1,000 square meter VIP terminal next to Terminal 3. Current use Terminal 1 was closed in 2003 and reopened in 2007 as the domestic terminal following extensive renovations, and in July 2008, to cater for summer charter and low-cost flights. It remained open for these charter and low-cost flights for the 2008 summer season, then temporarily closed in October 2008, when it underwent further renovation and reopened again in summer 2009, when it was expected to reach a 3-month capacity of 600,000 passengers on international flights. As of 2010, several low-cost carriers' international flights were operating out of Terminal 1 year-round, including Vueling flights to Barcelona and EasyJet flights to London, Manchester, Geneva, and Basel. In 2015, due to increased demand and following another expansion of the terminal, the Israel Airports Authority made Terminal unavailable to all low-cost carriers under certain conditions. Flights operating out of Terminal 1 have charged lower airport fees than those operating out of Terminal 3. International passengers departing out of Terminal 1 perform their check-in and undergo passport control and security screening in Terminal 1, after which they are bused directly to the departures area of Terminal 3. Passengers with carry-on luggage only who have printed their boarding pass prior to arriving at the airport may proceed directly to Terminal 3 for passport control and security screening. Incoming flights for airlines operating out of Terminal 1 are handled solely in Terminal 3. A free shuttle from Terminal 3 and the railway station to and from Terminal 1 operates approximately every 15 to 30 minutes. Terminal 3, which opened on 28 October 2004, replaced Terminal 1 as the main international gateway to and from Israel. The building was designed by Skidmore, Owings and Merrill. Moshe Safdie and Associates and TRA designed a linking structure in the airside departure areas and gates. Ram Kama and other Israeli architects were the local architects of record. The inaugural flight was an El Al flight to John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York City. The new terminal was built to serve over 10 million passengers per year. It could accommodate 16 million passengers a year with the addition of 2 concourses to the existing 3. One additional concourse is currently in the planning stages, along with an expansion of the landside terminal. Due to the proximity of the airport to the country's largest population centers and the problem of noise pollution, another international airport is being considered to be built elsewhere in the country. Work on Natbag 2000, as the Terminal 3 project was known, was scheduled for completion prior to 2000 in order to handle a massive influx of pilgrims expected for the Millennium celebrations. This deadline was not met due to higher than anticipated costs and a series of work stoppages in the wake of the bankruptcy of the main Turkish contractor. The project eventually cost an estimated $1 billion. Terminal 3 uses the jetway system. The overall layout is similar to that of airports in Europe and North America, with multiple levels and considerable distances to walk after disembarking from the aircraft. The walk is assisted by escalators and moving walkways. The upper-level departures hall, with an area of over 10,000 square meters, is equipped with 110 check-in counters and as well as flight information display systems. A small shopping mall, known as By and By, is open to both travelers and the general public. The mall, which includes shops, restaurants and a post office, was planned to be a draw for non-flyers too. On the same level as the mall, passengers enter passport control and the security check. Planes taking off and landing can be viewed from a distinctive tilted glass wall. The arrivals hall is located on the ground floor where there are also 20 additional check-in counters. Car rental counters are located in an intermediate level situated between the departing and arriving passenger halls. Terminal 3 has 2 synagogues. After the main security check, passengers wait for their flights in the star-shaped duty-free rotunda. A variety of cafes, restaurants and duty-free shops are located there, open 24 hours a day, as well as a synagogue, banking facilities, a transit hall for connecting passengers and a desk for VAT refunds. Terminal 3 has a total of 30 gates divided among 3 concourses, each with 8 jetway-equipped gates and 2 stand gates from which passengers are ferried to the aircraft. Almost all El Al flights utilize Concourse D, with other airlines using Concourses B and C. Room exists for 2 additional concourses. Construction of Concourse along with an expansion of the landside terminal is planned. In March 2011, the government of Israel approved a budget of $758 million for Concourse and its related facilities. Construction began in the fall of 2014 and is expected to take approximately 3 years to complete. Also under construction as of 2014 is a new, 100 meters tall control tower and additional aircraft parking ramps adjacent to Terminal 3. Free wireless internet is provided throughout the terminal. The terminal has 3 business lounges, the exclusive El King David Lounge for frequent flyers and 2 Dan lounges for either privileged or paying flyers. In January 2007, the IAA announced plans for a 120-bed hotel at Terminal 3. Former and unopened terminals. Terminal 2 was inaugurated in 1969 when ICAO resumed operations at the airport after the Six-Day War. Terminal 2 served domestic flights until the 20th of February 2007 when these services moved into the refurbished Terminal 1. Due to increased traffic in the late 1990s and overcapacity reached at Terminal 1, an international section was added until Terminal 3 was opened. After the transfer of domestic services to Terminal 1, Terminal 2 was demolished in order to make room for additional air freight handling areas. Terminal 4. This terminal, built in 1999, was meant to handle the crowds expected in 2000, but never officially opened. To date, it has only been used as a terminal for passengers arriving from Asia during the SARS epidemic. Another use for the terminal was for the memorial ceremonies upon the arrival of the casket of Col. Ilan Ramon after the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster in February 2003 and the arrival of Elchanan Tenenbaum and the caskets of 3 Israeli soldiers from Lebanon in January 2004. Office buildings. The Airport City Development, a large office park, is located east of the main airport property. It is at the junction of the Jerusalem and Tel Aviv metropolitan areas. The head office of El Al is located at Gurion Airport, as is the head office of the Israel Airports Authority. The head offices of the Civil Aviation Authority and Cal Cargo Airlines are located in the Airport City Office Park nearby the airport. In addition, Israel Aerospace Industries also maintains its head office on airport grounds as well as extensive aviation construction and repair facilities. Runways. Main runway. The closest runway to Terminals 1 and 3 is 12/30, 3,112 meters in length, and is followed by a taxiway. Most landings take place on this runway from west to east, approaching from the Mediterranean Sea over southern Tel Aviv. During inclement weather, it may also be used for takeoffs. A $17 million NIS renovation project was completed in November 2007 which reinforced the runway and made it suitable for future wide-body aircraft. In September 2008, a new ILS serving the runway was activated. The main runway was closed from 2011 until early 2014 in order to accommodate the extension of runway 03, 21 and other construction activity in the vicinity of the runway. Short runway. When it was originally built, the short runway was 1,780 meters long, making it too short to accommodate most mainline passenger jets. At the time, it mainly served cargo aircraft of the Israeli Air Force and as a taxiway for runway 26. However, by late 2011, the runway was closed and most of the activity in the military apron to the east of the runway was permanently relocated to the Nevatim Air Base in southern Israel. In late May 2014, the runway was reopened after having been rebuilt and lengthened to 2,772 meters, allowing it to handle most types of aircraft. It is equipped with an ILS and mostly handles landings from north to south. Quiet runway. The longest runway at the airfield, 4,062 meters, and the main takeoff runway from east to west. is referred to as the quiet runway, since jets taking off in this direction produce less noise pollution for surrounding residents. A $24 million NIS renovation project completed in February 2006 reinforced the runway and made it suitable for future wide-body aircraft such as the new Airbus A380. History and development. The original layout of the airfield as designed by the British in the 1930s included 4 intersecting 800 meters runways suitable for the piston-engined aircraft of the day. However, none of this original layout is visible nowadays since as usage increased and aircraft types and needs changed over the years, various runways on the airport's premises were built and removed. The main runway is the oldest surviving runway in the airport, with the quiet and short runways having been built in the late 1960s and 1970s. Since very little commercial traffic could operate on the short runway, it meant that for approximately 40 years, the airport mostly relied on runways 12 30ths and 08 26. This presented a problem, however. The fact that these two runways intersect near their western end creates a crisscross pattern between aircraft landing and taking off. This pattern reduces the number of aircraft which can arrive to and depart from the airport and has detrimental safety implications as well. With passenger traffic projected to increase, plans were drawn in the 1980s and 90s for the extension of runways 03, 21 and 08, 26 as a means of alleviating some of Ben Gurion's safety and capacity concerns. These plans were approved in 1997 and construction began in 2010. The extension of runway 03, 21 allows the airport to operate in an open V configuration, allowing for simultaneous landings and takeoffs on runways 08, 26 and 03, 21 and thus more than double the number of aircraft movements which can be handled at peak times, while increasing the overall level of air safety in and around the airport. Construction took 4 years and cost $1 billion NIS and was completed the 29th of May 2014. It included paving 22 kilometers of runways and taxiways, using more than 1.5 million tons of asphalt, laying 1 million meters of runway lighting cables, 50,000 meters of high-voltage power lines and 10,000 light fixtures. The construction of several new taxiways between the existing runways and terminals also significantly reduced taxi times at the airport. Citizen objections. While Ben Gurion Airport is conveniently located in the very center of the country, this fact also means that the airport is surrounded by various residential communities who often complain of noise pollution caused by the airport. Following the completion of the extension of runway 03, 21, residents north of the airport sued the Israeli aviation authorities, claiming that the authorities intend to use the runway to a greater degree than was originally agreed with them during the approval process for the airport runways reconfiguration project.